Welcome to Badminton Weekly with me, Jasmine Lim. The leading Hong Kong Open notably saw the return of Paris Olympics gold medalist Victor Axelsen to the HSBC BWF World Tour. The world number 2 put on another flawless run, not dropping a game the entire week as he secured his second tour title of the year. Axelsen defeated China's Lei Lanxi in the final in dominating fashion to clinch his maiden Hong Kong Open crown. Former Australian men's singles player Jeff Tho is impressed but not surprised by the Dane's achievement.
And he's done it. 27-year wait for a Dane to win the men's singles title here at the Hong Kong Open is over.
I've been impressed with his performance at his first tournament back. We all saw how flawlessly he played at the Paris Olympic Games, winning the gold medal without even dropping a single game. And then in Hong Kong, continuing that good form. Just like in Paris, his attacking shots have been really accurate and he's been hitting many winners, especially the straight smash from the around the head side. We did see a lapse in concentration though, for example, against Ginting in the second game where he had a service fault, then wasn't serving well at all. He was up 13-3 and then Ginting got back to 13-17 and then he had match points at 20-13 and let Ginting get back to 19-20. But all in all, even with these lapses, I still think his game is developing and improving, and he's still really able to assert his dominance on court, even when it is quite difficult to return after winning a gold medal. Because of his tall stature, his body type, and the attacking style of game that he usually plays, I think it's really important that he manages his schedule and his physical form. It's often not surprising to see him withdraw from tournaments if he's had a long tournament the week before, and also he doesn't seem to hesitate if he has any form of injury. And I think that's because he and his team, they know his body so well and his condition too. So they're always thinking what's the best thing for the long term, and if it's not to play this tournament, then so be it. I think that the other men's singles players have already started to adopt this kind of thinking where they're not playing every single World Tour event each week. Unlike someone like Lee Chong-wei back in the day who used to play every single week and barely miss a tournament at all. The times have changed now and the singles events are getting so much harder, so much more grueling and physically demanding. Even a win in straight games now usually takes 45 minutes or more. So to play at that high level week after week with these physical and mental demands, it becomes unsustainable.
Indonesia's Anthony Sinisuka Ginting and Jonathan Christie also returned to the fold in Hong Kong. Both men exiting in the semi-finals with Ginting falling to Axelsen in straight games and Christie losing to the Chinese youngster Lei in 3. Jeff Tho believes it was a near-perfect restart for the elite shuttlers in their first tournament since an underwhelming Paris campaign.
Yes, there's definitely a lot of weight on the shoulders of Jonathan Christie and Anthony Ginting from Indonesia, with I think the Indonesian fans expecting a little bit more from them from the Paris Games. But it's really positive to see Ginting make it through to another semi-final, and he made a great comeback in the second game against Axelsen after saving 6 match points. I would have liked him to have played a little bit better at the start of the first game though, but he lost that quite convincingly, and then that probably didn't help his confidence to begin the second game where he was basically behind from the beginning as well. But it is positive that he got his revenge against Toma Junior Popov, who he lost to in Paris, and then becoming closer to winning that second game against Axelsen could be good for his confidence. I do think that he needs to have like a breakthrough win to bring that confidence back that he can consistently start beating the top players again. And since the All England finals back in March this year, I feel like his confidence has been waning quite a bit as well. But for Jonathan Christie, he was definitely in a bit of a lull, I think, in the lead up to Paris. After having a really good start to the year, he won the All England Championships and then the Asia Championships. But then he lost first round in both the Singapore Open and Indonesia Open, which were in the lead up towards the games. So it is really great to see him getting some wins under his belt, getting that confidence and reaching another semi-final in Hong Kong to really bring his confidence back up. I'd really like to see a bit of a resurgence from both Indonesian men's singles players, but the men's singles field is so strong and they're going to really need to push hard for that.
Pearly Tan and Tina Muralitharan became the first Malaysian women's doubles pair to win the Hong Kong Open. In their second successive final appearance at the Hong Kong Coliseum, the duo needed just 38 minutes to see off China's Tan Ning and Liu Shengshu 21-14, 21-14. It was also Tan and Tina's first silverware in 2 years since winning the French Open in 2022.
We are really happy for today's win. I think this really helped us in our confidence. So to be here today in front of the Hong Kong crowd and everyone, we're really happy.
Yeah, actually we just communicate more on our gameplay, and I think this really helps us on the match. I think this is the main, most important thing for both of us.
I think we had the same thinking, like we wanted to finish the game faster, so that's when we did some simple mistakes where we shouldn't have, but we will take note on this and be more cautious next time.
Yeah, we just want to be more consistent like usual, and we hope this momentum will always keep going.
Previously in the Korea Open, we made Independence Day by making it to the finals, but we couldn't get the title. But I think God gave us another opportunity. So we're really happy that we got the title today. So it's also another gift for Malaysia. So happy Malaysia Day.
Sabar Khayaman Gautama and Mo Reza Pahlavi Isfahani were the surprise package of the leading Hong Kong Open as the Indonesian pair reached their first Super 500 final. The world number 22 saw off challenges posed by compatriots Ahsan Setiawan and Karnando Maulana, as well as 7 seeds Man and T from Malaysia en route to the final. Hans Christian Wittinghus looks at the factors that contributed to their successful run.
It's great to see that they're continuing the good form they've shown this year. They already made final of Oliang Super 300, they made the semi-final of Swiss, and they won the Madrid Spain Masters. So they've already produced lots of good results, also a semi-final in Indonesia Open actually. So it's nice to see that it was not just like a short spell in the start of the year, but they're actually still building on the good form and good results. When you start performing at this level, where it's above Super 500 level, it's beginning to look like something that could be really, really good for them in the future. I would say there's no doubt this pair is playing what I would call high risk, high reward kind of style. So they are quite aggressive, they want to shorten the rallies, they almost refuse to give away the high lift. And you also very rarely see they win any rallies when they start from defense. So when you see them lift, it's in situations where they're forced into it, and it's much like faster paced lifts, a little bit flat. So they're trying to be aggressive, they're trying to shorten the rallies all the time, and again, I think it's quite classical Indonesian men's doubles style. They're not really inviting into long rallies and trying to wear the opponents down and open the opponent's game style up that way. But on the other hand, when they feel a little bit uncomfortable and they're missing some of these shots because they play with like very fine margins all the time, then they're also struggling to keep the consistency and find other ways to win. So I think Kang and Seo showed everything they need to work on, Gautama and Isfahani, because Kang and Seo, they have such a good defense that it's not enough for the Indonesians to just be good in offense and get the offense, because the Koreans, they can find ways to get out of that situation. They can survive long enough and drag out their rallies, and then the Indonesians, they kind of run out of options and solutions, and then they maybe try a little bit too hard to hit winners from crazy positions. So they need to work on their overall game in terms of being able to play more than this one game style, and with that I specifically mean they need to be better in defense, they need to be better in this that I would call like 50-50 game where they're not really on top. But it will come with experience, I'm certain of that, because the more experience they get, the more exposure they will also get on, okay, what do we actually have to work on, what is working and what is not working against these top pairs. For sure it's helping to have a guy like Ahsan sitting there in the coaching box, no doubt about that. But I think it's funny that we spoke of experience before, but because since they went independent, they decided to do it to get more tournament exposure, be able to choose more different tournaments to play, and I think that's the reason why we now see the effect that they've been getting more tournament exposure. They've been playing with the better pairs, and I think we have just seen now that they've had 2 years as independent, and now the results start coming. It's not like in badminton at this level, you just change something and results will come straight away. You need to be patient, and funnily enough, Sabar, the first name of Utama, means patience in Indonesian, so I think that's quite fitting and shows that they need even more of that to break into top 10 and top 5, even more exposure, even more experience, but they're also showing that they are on the right track and they're working on things. Results will show in the long run if they keep working in the right direction.
Li Yang and Wang Chi-Lin had to fight the doubters as well as themselves to qualify for the 2024 Olympics. Despite the odds, the Chinese Taipei shuttlers got their tickets to Paris and became the first unseeded men's doubles pair to win 2 consecutive gold medals. We caught up with Li and Wang after the final match together at the Taipei Open and looked back on their incredible Olympic journey.
因为第一次在东京的时候，可能我们有点不切实际，所以当时很感动，但是没有想要哭的感觉。但是因为在东京玩的这3年，我们经历了太多低潮，然后这一路走来，只有我跟李阳知道说我们到底遇到了多少困难，然后真的可以再一次站上巴黎的颁奖台的时候，其实真的是满满的感动啦，就是那种时候就是终于一种拨云见日的那种感觉。
光代表初赛奥运其实就很不容易了，因为毕竟那时候哲慧他们的分数也跟我们相当近，那也有很多声音说希望他们能代表出国。那
因为当时他们打得真的非常，
今年他们打得非常好，那确实我们在今年的表现确实也没有去年我们可能更好一点。这个部分我们当然也希望说我们可以去打破质疑，说运动员本来就是在不被看好中去努力学着打破这些质疑声。
其实，在巴黎，因为签抽出来，我们又是在最糟糕的那个签，然后那个签又是最难打的签，所以当时给自己设定目标也是希望说可以跟李阳就是小组出线，然后希望能有机会去摸到一面牌。那我觉得在巴黎的时候，我最印象深刻的时候，应该是在小组赛最后一场，因为之前我们没赢过，然后再加上那一场比赛蛮关键到我们的有没有办法出线。然后当时我自己在第1局的时候压力非常大到自己发挥有点荒腔走板。然后那时候好险是李阳在第2局的时候有一直给我鼓励，然后他有把那股气顶在那边，然后告诉我就是在场上该怎么样去面对那些压力，然后该怎么样去突破我们现在的困境。然后甚至在第3局我们虽然赢下1局就有确定出线。
说没有压力，说不会去想这个，我觉得真的不切实际。那我们唯一能做的就是在场上把我们最好的那一画面做得更好一点。所以我们在场上，我也常常想说，不管怎么样，这就是我们最后一次奥运。那我们希望把我们最好的一面留给大家。我们就是一直在提醒彼此，就是我们在场上就是把我们最好的那一面做好，不论结果如何。
真的非常感谢他，因为我们在中间也经历了非常多争吵，像是去年的这个时候，我们已经吵到甚至几乎有可能要拆组，但他就是对我的包容真的非常大，因为他自己本身自我要求非常高，那我有时候可能会比较脱线一点，那他都愿意去包容我这些的缺点，然后一直去跟我做磨合，然后在场上一直去寻找突破的方式，然后在这3年中，我们也一起经历了非常多的低谷，然后也一起经历了很多输球跟一些很难过的事情。那我们都互相彼此就是扶持，然后也撑了过来。然后在东京后，在巴黎再次站上颁奖台，我真的觉得如果没有他，我也今天也做不到这件事情，所以真的是非常感谢他。
我也相信，如果今天不是他，我没办法站上这个顶峰，何况今天连续2次，那我觉得这更难能可贵。那我觉得未来不管怎么样，我觉得我们都会是在背后支持彼此所有决定的那位支持者。
That's all for our show today. Next up on the HSBC BWF World Tour is the final Super 1000 event of the year, the Victor China Open. And we're looking forward to the return of more elite players as well as the debut of new pairings. So make sure to join us next week when we bring you the biggest headlines to emerge from Changzhou. In the meantime, stay up to date with the latest news by downloading our BWF app, badminton for you. And as always, let us know your thoughts, comments, and questions on our Facebook and YouTube pages. Bye for now.